Good morning and welcome to the 2011 ICC. My name is Will Blunt and I'm here presenting the Vitamix Challenge. We're at the Park Avenue Armory in Manhattan and we're ready to roll. We have a tremendous group of competing chefs. I'd like to introduce them. We have Asbel Reyes of Sidebarns Restaurant in Tampa Bay, Seth Siegel Gardner of Pilot Light Restaurant Group in Houston, Dirk Flanagan of The Gauge in Chicago, Jamie Bissonnette, Copa and Toro in Boston, and Adam Hegstead of The Wandering Table in Spokane, Washington. And our judges, Chris Santos of Stand Social, Wiley Dufresne, WD-50 here in Manhattan, Jody Berg, president of Vitamix, Alex Stupak of Epion, and Andrew Knowlton of Bon Appetit. So we're ready to get going. Thank you. So I'm here with Jody Berg, president of Vitamix. What are your thoughts?
I am so excited to be here. You know, the chefs are so unbelievably creative to find out what they can do with blending. It amazes me every single time.
So as a judge, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for several things. I'm looking for one flavor, because the Vitamix will allow flavors to be released out of foods that is not possible any other way. I'm looking for the homogenation of flavors. So like a fine wine, when you're blending them together, you're breaking down the molecules and they're coming back together and creating new essence in the flavor. I'm looking forward to that. And also just the fineness of the puree and their creativity of what they can come up with.
Wow, it's exciting. We'll see.
Basically, you use the VitaPrep for two parts of the dish. It's eel puree that's in between layers of seared foie gras terrine, and then a frozen uni powder. So freeze it in liquid nitrogen and then just blend it and kind of dust it over the plate. You have some pickled eel, hibiscus leaves, and some borage flowers.
You have fall flavors, basically an October-inspired dessert. It's pumpkin banana pie. Set in a very unique way using the VitaPrep blender, where you actually cook the carrageenans and a product called Quimix, which is a gelatinized cream, and we get it up to a certain temperature where the carrageenan actually will swell and set. Pour it on a plate very quickly, cover it. You're able to, within moments, be able to cut it. And the good thing is, if I put this on a stovetop and was able to actually get the pumpkin puree to get to the temperature, it would have charred by the time it needs to get to that set point. So with the VitaPrep blender being able to go as fast as it does with the heat, it's able to set the gelatin at the temperature I want.
So it's kind of like a booty farra, blood sausage. We made that in the Vitamix. The cool thing about it is with the Vitamix, I can whip the egg and the cream like really frothy, and then slowly put the blood into it, and then chicken liver, so it doesn't need to get past it. Blends really, really smooth, and then cooks really quickly.
We've got a roasted venison loin done with a liver and venison croquette, Brussels sprout puree, and it's brought together with a little juniper reduction. Instead of like doing a traditional sausage, I use the Vitamix to emulsify the sausage.
This is called Earth and Turf, so you have some rocks. It looks kind of like a burnt piece of wood. It would be the beef. The rocks are salt-roasted baby purple potatoes I got from a farmer. They're real close to my house. On top is a mushroom tuile. There's a mushroom jus underneath as well. Mushroom tuile is made with toasted flour and wild mushrooms, blended together with a little bit of maltodextrin and some egg whites. That's what I did in the Vitamix. On top, there was a green sauce. It's very vibrant. It's like a parsley and cilantro emulsion. There is some sauteed oyster mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, some other mushrooms, gnocchis, and then some wild herbs I found, baby carrots, and there is some lamb's quarter, some purslane, and then on top of that was a little bit of like mud, which is made with tapioca maltodextrin and mushrooms and a little bit of oil.
I think they all used, obviously they all used the blender very well. The Vitamix blender very well and to great effect. I think it was interesting. We sort of saw the whole gamut. We saw appetizers, we saw entrees, we've seen desserts. I think we've certainly seen some clever applications of a very versatile piece of equipment. Definitely.
You know, I think for me the most impressive thing is the utilization of the Vitamix in multiple components of the dish, not just one. You know, it is sometimes not an overlooked piece of equipment, but you go to it time and time again just for the same process, blending. And to see these chefs using it not just in one element of their dish, but in some cases the entire dish almost is made using, you know, whether it was to heat something or emulsify something, was definitely impressive today.
As far as the applications go, again, like Wiley said, I think some we just used a blender very, very well. Some were actually eye-opening to me. Definitely hydrating a gum is, I think that's pretty unique. Making a sausage in a blender, extremely unique. And everything was delicious, which is the most important part.
I think what's interesting is considering how short of a time they had to work with, being economical and using the Vitamix in those terms, and where it would have taken traditional stuff probably longer to execute, they were able to kind of put it on fast forward, and quite impressive for considering the time and the circumstances.
The Vitamix is committed to being the kitchen tool of choice, and it's through challenges like this that we find new ways of using this piece of equipment. So it was a pleasure and an honor, and it's neat to be a judge. So we need a drum roll, please. And the winner is Asbel Reese. This dish was amazing.
Wow.
Yes. His application of the VitaPrep, and he used it in so many different ways, some that I'd never even heard of before, was fascinating.
We'd like to thank the judges for giving their valuable time. They're all working restaurant chefs here in the city, so thank you. And thank you to the competitors for bringing such a strong set of dishes.